team right now, right?
Yes, exactly.
So let's see what Kate has to say and what they found out. I think this is based on a guide or a list, right? Mm-hmm. Kate Black is a policy advisor in the federal government, formerly the chief of staff and vice president of research at Emily's List. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Where are you?
I'm currently in Washington, D.C.
Are you interested in running for office?
You know, I think it's a long-term goal for me, but what we wanted to do with this book was provide any woman the nuts and bolts of how to do it themselves, whether, this cycle, next year, or, 5 years from now. We wanted them to have a roadmap, and that's what this book does.
When we realize that when we have that phrase, it's about time, why has it been a problem up until recently and I guess we're still having this issue as far as, but not as much as we once did. What do you think caused the problem or the Great Divide?
For so many years, women have not been seen as leaders. There are some real barriers that keep women out of politics. That looks like the money it takes to run. Women usually haven't had access to that type of power and wealth. Those networks have really been men's networks. Mm-hmm. There are also barriers that hold us back in terms of our own qualifications. There's research and data out there that shows that women just don't see themselves as qualified to run, and so they stay away from the process. Whereas men who feel that they're not qualified still jump in anyways.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So what we wanted to do with this book, absolutely, and so we wanted to provide women the armor they need to try leadership on in a real way.
So do you give advice in the book regarding the campaigning style at all?
We do provide information around what a campaign can look like in your real life. Women are doing so many things. We are mothers, we're daughters, we're teachers, we're students, we're doing paid labor, we're doing unpaid labor. And leadership can be one of those things too.
Sure, absolutely.
You have a lot of women that are elected that you focus in the book. They come from all different backgrounds. They have all different personalities, and you are promoting that they are qualified to run for office.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we wanted to do was show that, when looking at the Congress last year, we write up their professions, what they did before they were in office, to show women that you don't need to be older, have a completed resume, have a PhD or a law degree or a lot of money. You could be a car salesman. You could be a radio host. There are those in Congress too. You could be a teacher or a social worker or a nurse or a doctor. There are so many things that you could be that qualify you to run for office. And it's really about understanding that your expertise is your experience, and that's what qualifies you to run.
And the title of the book, Represent, really says it all, regardless of what sex you are, because your job in this country, anyway, is to represent.
Absolutely. There are too many rooms where women are not present, but the decisions are being made about our lives, our children, about our planet. And so June and I came together to write a book that encourages women to run so that our government looks a little bit more like the people it represents.
I've often thought that in many offices, like in the presidency, the wife is just as important as the man we call the president. The first lady is just as important, and I see that in a lot of things. But for some reason, the guy is the one who ends up on the coin. After he dies, we put his face on the dollar bill.
Yeah, I think what we do in this book is understand that running for office is a team sport. It is not a solo activity. And so one of the very first things you can do for any woman looking to run is start talking to people. That conversation can start with your family, but it also should include your friends and maybe your community. Because when we say things out loud, it makes a promise to ourselves that we're actually going to do it. But when you clue in other people to these dreams that we have, it brings them into our inner circle and fires them up, just like you are passionate about running for office. And you're going to need that when you're on the campaign trail.
And you have a listing of books also within your book, like What Does It Mean to Be White, Evicted, Borderlands, from different perspectives. So every woman, no matter what you are, you can benefit from all of the history from everyone.
Absolutely. We wanted to provide women, Democrat, Republican, white, black, young, old, resources and tools that they can not only use in their own campaigns, but also inform their lives. If you're coming to the notion of privilege or identity for the first time maybe in this book, we wanted to make sure that you had a primer to understand what these issues mean, not only for you, but for your community.
Does the candidate, the lady candidate, does she need to know what her image looks like to the people who would be her potential constituents? And if I could just add an addendum to that, just like, for example, if I'm a voter and I'm looking at the school board, those positions, I don't know, maybe I'm just whatever, I'm stereotyping, but I always feel like a woman would be better on the school board and a man might be better, I don't know, in the city council or something. Does that, I mean, I know that's not fair, but that's the kind of inner thing that probably influences in an unfair way. Does the candidate need to know that we feel those things?
I think it's important to understand the stereotypes and the landscape that a woman candidate might be coming into. But one of the things that's really great about the current moment we're in is that there are so many women stepping up to lead that they can step into different roles and show voters that, yes, a woman could be elected sheriff. Yes, a woman could be elected attorney general or, higher office like the Oval Office. When you have more women running, it opens up the doors to the girls and maybe women leaders of the future to see that those are real opportunities for them. Now, you're totally right that there are actually more women who serve on school boards, but wouldn't it be amazing if we had more women superintendents or more women who were making some of those bigger choices about not only our schools but our children's lives?
I think the lady we have a lady superintendent right now.
Yeah, we do.
I think she's the first one, right? Ever?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
You also stress the importance of clothing and the outward physical presentation.
We do, and this was something that June and I struggled with because we certainly do not want to be in a position of telling women what to wear and how to look. There are so many beauty kind of prescriptions put on women. But we also wanted to, my point earlier, let women know the landscape. And there is data that shows that voters hold women and men to different standards when it comes to their appearance on the campaign trail. So here what we do is kind of provide a choose your own adventure. If you're a woman who's looking just to give me a uniform, tell me the things that I need to put on so that I can focus on talking to voters, we provide you some of those tips. But if you're a woman who's already been in her closet and she knows the 5 outfits that make her feel her best, we say go for it. Wear that.
When you talk about that kind of thing, I think about when men and women are on a podium and they're screaming. Neither one is attractive. The screaming technique is never attractive, but it really, I don't know why, and please, don't get mad at me, but it just seems like a woman is doing herself a disservice by doing that. A man, I guess he gets away with it easier. Comment on what I just said, and you can be harsh on me if you feel like it, but I just feel like as a viewer, when I'm supporting a woman who's running for office, I wish she wouldn't do that. What am I being, something bad?
No.
So I think we have had so many years of male leadership looking forceful and determined, and sometimes that looks angry. Women just haven't had that same opportunity to show a range of emotion. And unfortunately, I think sometimes the media likes to put those two images together. And
Maybe,
frankly, we've had decades of men pointing their fingers and looking sharp, and we've been accustomed to know that that's what leadership can look like. But I think as we have had more women running, we get to see a variety of emotions from women candidates, and hopefully it'll start to shake away some of those stereotypes.
Did you ever see the TV show Suits, by the way?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Jessica and Donna, both of them could be the president.
Absolutely. Well, and Meghan Markle. I mean, we got to say that. If we're
Oh,
talking
Meghan,
about Susan, we have to talk about Meghan Markle.
Well, fun conversation, and I really thank you for doing this kind of a book. I mean, we want our daughters to realize that they can be anything they want to be, and it's a really wonderful thing that you and June, Diane, Raphael have done. Let's see, I have a copy of the book. If I have a listener who wants it, give me a call right now. I know we're over time a little bit. Are we, Robin?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we went over. Okay, I'm sorry. Kate, I found the book on Amazon. Do you have a website you'd like to recommend?
You can go to workman.com/product/represent or follow us at #representbook.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.